Okay, so today I was on Reddit and there was a guy who was asking about plugins and stuff like that, like which ones to use as far as guitar went and whatnot. And there were a bunch of people that helped him and stuff like that. And I told him if he doesn't have a budget, like to get like Neural DSP or something like that or anything, you can always go with the free ones that they have, which is like Lapoo, Ignite amps, because I know that they have Ignite has a whole bundle deal where they give you an amp head, um, an IR loader, and then a bunch of free IRs and stuff like that. And so, what I thought I'd do today is show you a mix I did that has and is using all of these free plugins. So it'll just be guitar and bass today, as far as all that goes. So I can actually probably go mute all these bad boys because that's vocals. And I need to remix this song anyway because when I transferred the file over from my old computer to this one, I don't know what happened, but it kind of just doesn't sound as good. So let us jump right into. You know what I wanted to figure out though is how to zoom in on on this bad boy. Keyboard shortcuts. Oh, right. Command plus. Duh. Let's see. There we go. Now I can read all the comments. Nice and easy. But okay, so let's jump into this bad boy. And like I said, I was gonna be doing. I'm gonna be working on the guitar, bass only for right now. The reason for that is because I don't have a free drum sampler yet. I paid for this one. It's the Invasion drum kit. So we're just gonna have to stick. Oh. And I went and listened to this earlier today, so I know at least the drums sound really good. But the rest of it, like the rest of these audio things, when I transferred it over from my old Mac, they kind of lost some of their tenacity, and it wasn't as clear as it was. So so oh, sorry about that. I should I should probably share this to something else as well. Shit. What did I share it on last time? Shared it to my Facebook and then it's shared to Instagram, so I'll just do that. All right. These are all things I should really just learn how to do beforehand so that I can just go jump right into everything. So it was Facebook I did too. Right, right, right. Oh no. It automatically shares. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. All right. So yeah, I got this Invasion plugin and it is going to be so great for future music. Damn it, I forgot to do the smash and grab thing, which is really sad cuz I could really use that on this track. Let's see about there. Okay. I'll do another video where I go over drums for sure, but as for right now, I'm just going to keep it pretty simple. Okay. Or I'm not simple, just to guitars. Okay, so however you record, which usually you got to do, is to record to a click track, and you can suss out the drums later, or you can just like free improvise. But what I did for this track, I did the drums first, and I just went like just messed around with the beat, and then I put the guitar on later. So how I record and mix and everything like that, it's a top down mix. So what I do before I do anything in the DAW is I come in here, I EQ it, do a little boost about the 100 range, cut out about 35 hertz because speakers just don't handle that, and neither do human ears. Um, and then do a little boost between the 1 and 2K regions. And then right around the 5K, do another tiny little boost, and then cut off the really, really high end. And then I put a limiter on the front, and then I put a limiter there so that it stays pretty locked down. Although these two should actually be. There we go. That's better. Yeah, that was weird. And then I turn up the actual track volume too, because that's just how this one turned out. Sometimes you don't need to do that. Sometimes it's pretty there, but sometimes you do have to turn their master up because generally you record at a lower um, volume so that you have more headroom to work with. And see, that's why these signals here look pretty like in the box there, as you can see. Because if you zoom in here, see they're not really hitting the edges of the wave format here, and that's always a really good thing. The reason why is that you have a whole bunch of headroom to work with, and you're not going to peak the audio out. You're not going to get any clipping But okay, so all the plugins that I'm going to use right now are going to be free. They're going to be 100% free, except for the drum one, which I will do a future video where I use like that Slate Digital 5 for free or whatever, the free one. But all these plugins that I'm using right now are either standard in GarageBand or just free that you can download from the internet. And the reason I'm using GarageBand is also because it is a free program. I could a lot of the things that I'm going to apply here can be used in another DAW of your choice, like Reaper, which is a free one, unless if you want to get the license, or anything like any other. I don't know any other free DAWs, but all of the things that I'm going to do right now are applicable to the other ones. And so right here we got our two guitar tracks. And right now this is what they sound like. And that's just from all the free stuff that I use. Ooh, I played sloppy there. I didn't even notice that. Anyway, so let's dive into this track and see what we can see. I'll put this one at 0 so that we can hear it. And I will go over all the plugins that I used. I'll tell you what I use by where they're from and whatnot, and I'll also put like I'll throw you a link if you message me on here or if I export this to another platform, I'll put that in the description. And okay, so I did not. There's one that isn't free. I'll switch that right now. So this first one that I'm using, I'm putting a distortion pedal in front of the amp simulator. And this distortion pedal you can also get from Ignite Audio, SLT tones, which I actually don't think. There we go. Yeah, it'll be Ignite amps. It's a Tyrant Screamer. And so I think that'd be good. I don't know. I wasn't using this one. I was using actually the Tone Forge Misha Manor one, which is a Horizon pedal, and those things just sound great itself. But for the sake of this, video, I'll use this bad boy. And then the second one I'm using is a Lapoo amp simulator. So this is the head that's going into the cab. And I decided to use the LE CTO because that one simulates closest to my Mesa Boogie head, which is the tubes are out right now, so that's why I'm not using it. But here I've downloaded like 4 of them: the LE X-Tac, LE Legion, the LE CTO, and then the LE 456. But this one, I wanted this kind of sound because I don't know, it just gets the best sound to me. And so for that, I have it on the orange setting from Vintage Raw, and I have it on the modern, the very third one. The drive is straight at 12 o'clock, straight up. I took a little bit of the bass out, and I boosted the mids a bit, boosted the highs a little bit, because like when you first load it up, it just comes straight at 12 o'clock. So I moved the presence a little bit more, kept the master where it was, and down the resonance a bit. And so what that garbage sounds like right now that. But then with the plugin bundle that you get from Ignite, they also give you the IR loader and then a bunch of other little nifty IRs that come with it. And so what I wound up doing is I loaded up went in my computer and I went to the Mesa Boogie recabinet, which easiest, quickest way to do anything is a V30. But if you want to get your own sound, you definitely go in there and look at all of these that they have, because there's a fucking hella ton. Like they have bass amps as well. They have Celestion. They have Ingle. They have Excalibur, Fender, Harley Benton, which I kind of want to mess with those eventually because they got a pretty nice dark tone to them. And that's also another thing too. If you as far as like getting a good guitar tone that you want, ooh, it does have a lot to do with the head that you're using, but it also does have to do mostly with the positioning of the mic to the cab itself. And so for this, I chose the 6L6 i5 Edge, and I gave it a pretty nice, like, clean there tone to it. And so that's what I stuck with. Like, it has a lot of bite. It has a lot of bite and brightness, and that's what I like for my guitar tones at least. Like, just a bright thing there. But let's change. We can change it to the cone, like right in the middle. You see how dark that got? Comparatively, which just sounds really nice. And I feel like that one would have like very little tweaking that you would have to do as far as EQ goes. But here's a 57 on the Edge. I don't know. I kind of like that a little bit more. But for the sake of this, keep it there. So yeah, I used the 6L6 i5 Edge. Didn't do any high pass, low pass, no resonance, nothing down here. Just straight up pure mic, because the EQ will come after. And so here's the EQ that I got cooked up. And I'll show you what each of them does. So as you can hear, that thing's got a hell of a lot of low end to it. So do a low pass curve. Pretty much cut all of that out. All of that muddiness and everything out. Because you were going to want these mixes, the guitars to sit right in the middle of a mix. And you're going to want them to not take up the low end where the bass is going to sit or the kick drum, and not too much at the high end where the cymbals are going to sit, and the vocals, because the vocals are usually like mid-range to very high. And so after that, I did a little bit of a cut in the 100 hertz range, and a lot of what people do, which I don't have really, a good one at least, is a multi-band compression where they do it right there. So when the palm muting comes up, it doesn't it's not overbearing. But I don't have a profab, multipass. So I just went with doing that instead, which sadly it will cut out some of the tone that you got, but I have no other choice. And then this right here, a cut between the 200 and 500 region, takes out all the boxiness of the cab itself. Like, that really cleaned it up a bit. And then, because just guitar is super staticky in some, like most cases, around the 5K region, I did a little of a scoop there. And that really cleaned it up. Now you can, now it's going to sit really nice in the mix, not going to be overbearing on any other instrument. And I also did a low pass or a high pass filter. Yeah, that just cleaned up like most of the rest of it. And then what I did is I just saved that and applied it to both guitars. And so these are all free plugins. It's not going to break your bank. Because I would imagine that if you're doing these recordings and stuff like that, that you have a guitar and you have the means to record with for now. And so, like, both the guitars together sound really nice. And so I have a little bit of a dual guitar thing going on up here, which all I did with that was add a little bit of a chorus and a delay. Because if you add reverb, it's gonna muddy. Like if you add too much reverb, it'll muddy it up. So that, and then there's this little middle line here, just like a melody going on through the middle of it. That's not EQ'd at all with anything. It's just. Oh, I messed up a bit there. And here's a part right in the middle of the song where it just kind of gets a little bit of slower, and these nice pretty guitars come in. And all I did for that is I used a different amp. Because I used a different amp sim as far as the Lapoo thing goes. Take off the overdrive pedal, and I used the LE456. Because the LE-CTO, that one was a little bit, it had too much distortion. I couldn't get a good clean tone out of it. So I went with this one and like basically went with the bass settings pretty much as far as B goes, and all I did was just take some bass out, take some mid, take some treble down, and it was good to go. And then I used the same 606i Edge because having a clean, consistent guitar tone through the whole thing is pretty important as far as music production goes in general. And then all I did was put this. I did put a reverb on, but it's not too overbearing. I just used Dark Concert Hall from was it GarageBand itself, and then just a chorus. Oh wow, I didn't even really mess with the chorus at all either. I just threw it. All right, yeah, I just default chorus. Gave it a really nice sound. And then after that, here's a solo that goes over it, and basically I did with both solo parts here is all I did was add. Did I add reverb to it? No, I just added echo and just let it go. Yeah. So that sounds pretty cool. As far as like, and it all really depends on what kind of solo you're looking to play. Because if you want a really big, like expansive, cool, like roomy sounding solo, throw some reverb on there, but try not to be too overbearing with it. Because depending on how it will sit in the mix, you know. And honestly, I could probably turn these solos up a bit just to make them stand out a little bit more. But, oh no, what I usually do, I'm sorry, what I usually do, belay that last thing I said. What I usually do is I take the two main guitar tracks, I automate them and put them, when the solo comes in, I pull them down 2 decibels. so that the solo has a chance to come out, and it just kind of puts the guitar in the background, and that's a lot of what a lot of people do. But I didn't do this for this song because I was just rushing through it pretty quick. Which, don't do that. Don't rush through songs. It makes them come out sloppy, like this one kind of did, especially over in the beginning there. All right, and those are that. Now let's get to the bass, because the bass is really fun, and also all the bass was done with free plugins as well. And so I gotta thank this guy from Spectre Studios, Glenn Fricker, for showing me this little plugin here. It's the TSE Audio Bod Bass Overdrive. This thing is awesome because here's the DI track of just the regular bass. Which, sounds fine. But as far as metal goes, it needs more something, you know? So you throw it on. Just turn it on. Oh, wait. Here. I'll put another one in without anything done to it. Gives it a nice little je ne sais quoi, so to say. It just makes it sound a lot thicker and just more there. And it brings down the volume of it a bit, which is fine. But here's the settings that I use. I put a little bit of drive up and then a little bit of high. Because I also watched something from Nolly Get Good about how to, since he is more of a bass and drum person, I watched him EQ bass and stuff like that. And he says the surprising thing about bass is that when you bring the highs in, it really opens up and gives the bass a lot of room to breathe. Because the low end, you can turn it down a bit and just have it sit there and carry it through the whole song. And this is what my settings brought up. And as for me, I like the bass to meld with the guitar more, because this is a metal song, and as far as metal goes, a lot of it they both do the same thing. And then here's the EQ that I did, because I wanted to put that on first and then the EQ it later. And I did a boost at about 83 hertz, just a little tiny. No, this one was big, 6 decibels, because I wanted more of that low end to just push through and drive through the whole song. And then I did a kind of like low middle scoop where it was at 315, about 8 decibels, because here, I'll show you without it. And of course, a high pass and low pass thing. This one's at 1200 basically, and this one's at 40 hertz. And so that right there gives you that low end, so it just stays consistent. And this one cleans up the sound a lot, like a heliton, because that's where basically that, like right around those areas is where the guitar is going to fill up. And those just add a little bit more slap to it as far as the high, that those little high boosts go. And that is a really quick tutorial on how to get some good sounds out of free plugins, all free plugins, which is pretty insane to me. All right, I'm going to change this one back because I do enjoy the sound that the Tone Forge gives me. I think that's how I had it, right? Oh. But yeah, those are all free plugins. Just take that knowledge and use it in one of your songs. You can make it sound pretty good. Wait, are these on? Okay. Yeah, I didn't change anything. Okay. All right. Now let's hear it with the drums. See how that sounds. Oh, and then the final thing about mixing is every place that you will um every platform that you will export your song to always has a certain meter that it would always crush down your audio. So no matter what, it always make it into a certain area where it is. And Spotify and YouTube, I believe, are at -14 LUFS, maybe -12. But that like I usually go for about a -12 as far as that goes. Which here it's coming in at -16. So we can actually turn it up just a bit. But yeah, if you ever need that kind of audio thing, it's free as well. And this one's called the Yulin Loudless Meter 2. And that bad boy really helps out with like the final mixing and mastering process there. So what's going on? Oh, there we go. But yeah, that really helps a lot and everything like that too. And the limiters really do a crap ton. Sometimes if the mix is still a little too uncontrolled as far as audio goes, because I know that the snare on this thing is out of control, and I think I do believe I need to turn it down a bit. But what you can always do is use a compressor on the master bus, and that'll really even everything out, especially as far as snare hits go. So yeah, that was a quick little tutorial on like how I go about mixing my own songs. So, do you have any questions, any comments? You can totally leave them in the chat, or you can message me personally. And like I said, I will post where to get these plugins at the end of the video. So, or well, in the description, because I'm probably going to export this to another place. So, thanks.